Hey guys, welcome back to Virtual Large Group. My name's Abby.
I'm Victoria. Last week, Paul and Sydney talked about being alert and level-headed in prayer and the difference between impact and intimate prayer. They challenged everyone to come up with some time with God every day, praying without an agenda.
This week we're going to be taking a look at 1 Peter chapter 4, verse 8, which says, "Above all, love each other deeply, because love covers over a multitude of sins."
We're all different and likely to meet people we don't agree with. It's easy to make judgments in those times. In this verse, we're told to put aside those differences and think, how can I love this person as Christ would? For further instruction and inspiration, Abby and I look to 1 Corinthians chapter 13.
Starting with verse 1, it says, "If I speak in the tongues of men or of angels, but do not have love, I am only a resounding gong or a clanging cymbal. If I have the gift of prophecy and can fathom all mysteries and all knowledge, and if I have a faith that can move mountains, but do not have love, I am nothing. If I give all I possess to the poor and give over my body to hardship that I may boast, but do not have love, I gain nothing."
Love is patient, love is kind. It does not envy, it does not boast, it is not proud. It does not dishonor others, it is not self-seeking. It is not easily angered, it keeps no record of wrongs. Love does not delight in evil, but rejoices with the truth. It always protects, always trusts, always hopes, always perseveres.
Love never fails, but where there are prophecies, they will cease. Where there are tongues, they will be stilled. Where there is knowledge, it will pass away. For we know in part, and we prophesy in part, but when complacencies come, what is in part disappears. When I was a child, I talked like a child. I thought like a child, I reasoned like a child. When I became a man, I put ways of childhood behind me. For now we see only a reflection as in a mirror. Then we shall see face to face. Now I know in part, then I shall know fully, even as I am fully known."
And now these three remain: faith, hope, and love. But the greatest of these is love.
So I heard a pastor use this passage as kind of like a self-assessment tool to see if you have all of the different qualities that encompass love. He said you'd plug your name into the passage wherever it says the word love. So for example, I'll do myself. So Abby is patient, Abby is kind. Abby does not envy, Abby does not boast, Abby is not proud. None of us are perfect. And nobody is going to be able to say that they can do all of those things. And I can tell you right now that Abby does envy and Abby can at sometimes be self-seeking. The goal of this tool is not to look down on yourself or to shame yourself, but for you to be able to recognize parts of your life that you might have to give over to God. All of the characteristics that the passage stated are ways to love like Christ. So going back to 1 Peter chapter 4, verse 8, it said, like, a way that we can treat others with the love of Christ is to love each other deeply. So that kind of looks like asking those around us how we can be praying for them, being intentional with your time with another person, going on a friend date, assisting with a difficult situation or assignment or project, and giving compliments are great ways to do that. Yeah.
Personally, I was shown some love recently by my family. I lost my super precious cat suddenly a few weeks ago, and a few of my aunts sent me cards in the mail expressing their condolences. I felt so loved, and I was surprised to find the letters in the mailbox because that's not really something you see all the time nowadays. Knowing that someone I loved took the time to find me a card and, they signed it and everything, it really made me value my relationships with my aunts. It felt like they really cared about my grief and they were doing what they could to help.
Yeah, an example for my life is, so I work at a daycare, and this past Friday was one of my toddler's last days at the center. His mom brought me and the other teachers a thank you gift, and it made me feel really loved and appreciated. I think partly just because I'm a part-time teacher, so I only work for like a couple hours every day, and so I didn't think that the parents noticed me, since I only interact with them for a quick second when they drop or when they pick their kids up. And so because she gave me this thank you gift and wrote me a card and said how much she was grateful for what I was teaching Nima and everything, it just made me feel really appreciated and noticed by the parents.
So for this week's challenge, we'd like to encourage you to find your own way of loving someone deeply and comment about it down below or post about it under the hashtag Ivy Weekly Challenge. Have a great week. Thanks for watching.